Colonial Sports Center.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Colonial Sports Center. I'm Kevin Placha. He's Cameron Macariola.
How we doing, Kevin?
We have a lot of Colonial content to get to this evening.
Yes, we do.
The football team was trying to get their first win under the lights at Joe Walton Stadium, and we've got plenty of volleyball content, but we need to start with some breaking news. The unbeaten women's soccer team was in action tonight at Purdue Fort Wayne. Cam, I heard you had a little nugget about that game.
Yes, it was a hostile environment tonight for the Colonials as they were playing in front of over 1,000 Purdue Fort Wayne fans coming out tonight to support the Mastodons.
Colonials trying to continue their awesome start to the season as they took on Purdue Fort Wayne. It wrapped up just a little bit ago. Colonials fell short 2-0. Mackenzie Evans scored the first goal in the 39th minute. Both goals were scored low left. Colonials suffered their first loss of the year, but they still sit with an outstanding 6-1-2 record. Cam, I think the Colonials will be just fine and they'll bounce right back from this.
Yes, as we've seen so far this season, they've been off to a hot start. First loss, as we saw, and just coming back home next week to face Green Bay.
Yeah.
Yes,
we'll hear a little bit more about that game later, but it's definitely reassuring for the Colonials that they'll be able to come home after their first loss.
We talked to Coach, and he said that last year they started off really hot and then slowed down. I know he's going to be really hard on them to go and emphasize bouncing back from a loss.
Yep, and with the hot start that they had, there's no telling where this team could go as they rebound and look to beat Green Bay on Sunday. Well, from the pitch to the hardwood as the RMU volleyball team was in action in the Mountaineer Invitational. They kicked it off earlier today against the North Dakota State Bison, looking to get some momentum together before Horizon League play starts as the Colonials took on North Dakota State. Let's see how they fared in action, and they were swept by the Bison, falling in straight sets 3-0. Senior Emma Brown led the way with 8 kills. Ashley Wallen had 15 assists, and Natalie Stepanovich with 6 kills and 5 digs. A versatile afternoon for her, but it was not enough as the Bison steamrolled the Colonials in the opening match of the Mountaineer Invitational.
And the Colonials would follow that up against a game against Old Dominion. Old Dominion played earlier the same day, took on West Virginia and defeated them 3-0, and they would do just the same to the Colonials as they would take it 3-0. The first set was an ugly set for the Colonials, 25-8. And then the Colonials started to get it together against a really tough opponent. As you see in the final set, taking it to extras, as you can see, Maya Conway, 15 kills, 4 digs, Alice Munnery, 6 kills, 8 digs, and Teresa Atilano with 40 assists, which is a lot. And the Colonials were out without offensive weapon Abby Ryan for this tournament so far. They will be taking it to West Virginia again tomorrow as they take on West Virginia. And earlier in the week, they took on Brown at the George Mason Invite. Let's see how they fared against Brown, and it was just the same as today, 3-0. But again, slow start and going into a little bit of more of a competitive as they took the second set into extra. You see Abby Ryan, their offensive leader, 15 kills at 21 digs. Freshman Natalie Stepanovich, 16 kills, and Ashley Wayan, who made the Mason Invite All-Team with 17 assists.
That Mason Invite kicked off last Friday, and what ended up being the opening match of the Invite as the Colonials took on the George Mason Patriots. That was played down in Fairfax, Virginia. The whole invitational was. But the opening match here was against George Mason as the Colonials looked to get off to a hot start. Obviously, you just saw that they lost to Brown in straight sets. Could they manage a win against the Patriots? We will find out in just a second. Now, the Colonials fell once again in straight sets 3-0. Abby Ryan was able to play in this game, 12 kills and 8 digs. Grad transfer Rosina Esposito with 10 kills and 3 blocks, and junior Ashley Wallen with 19 assists, but it was not enough. The Colonials kept it close for all 3 sets, as you see right there, but they fell to the George Mason Patriots 3-0. Now, the Colonials were looking to leave the Mason Invite with a win later in the day as they took on the Radford Highlanders in the same Mason Invite, still in Fairfax, Virginia. Now, were the Colonials able to leave town with a win? The Colonials actually were, as they took down Radford by 3-0. 6-1. RMU would come out on top despite 34 assists from Julia Slivka. That was not enough for Radford. Abby Ryan with 18 kills, Natalie Stepanovic, we mentioned those two names a lot. 9 kills, 5 service aces for her. And Ashley Wallen with 28 assists. A nice performance from her as the Colonials leave the Mason Invite with a win.
Yeah, well, when we come back, our RMU football team was in search of their first win in over a year. Under the lights at the Joe, the stars needed to shine. And after this break, we will find out what happened on Saturday night.
The death of George Floyd, who died in police custody Monday night.
Turning my pain into purpose is pretty much what I
But
have
that tease I'm
done
talking
to
about.
start this
I
foundation.
feel like that was a good weird
thought it was-
structure.
It's going to take
was
more
back
than
and
just
forth,
us,
yeah.
you know, as a
All right,
foundation.
so it's you welcoming
It's
us
going to
back.
take
Yep.
Lights.
the
And then I'll
community,
read it.
the world,
to lights that we
help
discussed.
us make a change, because it just can't be us.
Found my heart out there in the open. Trees make you feel smaller. Can't help but get lost again. If I need a break, know where I'm going. Where the water's flowing, I'd rather be floating. If it's something that can count on to be free. If it's one
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
Hello and welcome back to Colonial Sports Center, and we are going to be breaking down the St. Francis versus RMU football game Saturday night under the lights. Let's see if RMU could pick up their first win in over a year. Here we go. Colonials, old foe, red flash. Second quarter, Colonials up on a 3-0 lead. The red flash will hand it off to Kayshawn Holmes for the 2-yard touchdown, taking the lead away from the Colonials, taking some of the life away. But the Colonials will march down the field, and they had a little trick up their sleeve as Chickett to Robinson to Becker, and Becker throws it, and Chickett with the catch. The Joe erupts. Everyone was going crazy. The celebration on his head. Let's take a second look at this. Here we go. Becker throws it deep, fighting off the contact. Chickett comes down with it. That's a top play if I've ever seen one. Expect it later. But the red flash come back and strike fast as they have a 53-yard bomb to Casey McKinney to take the lead over the Colonials once again. But late in the first half, second quarter, 38 seconds. Noah Robinson up top, gets it. Gets in the end zone, number 33 flips over him, and the Colonials are flipping out as they're taking this lead into the half. And in the third quarter, Colonials, here we have Chickett, takes the snap, rolls right, Lucas gets open to the left for the easy lob and catch to extend the lead to 10 for the Colonials. Everyone was feeling it at the Joe. The Red Flash are trying to strike back, but no. Robert Carter with the interception, a little bit of a circus catch and the juggle. He goes down in the red zone, which takes us to the fourth quarter. Everyone's feeling it. Here we go. Chaz Middleton right down the middle, catches it. Touchdown, Colonials 31-14. And the final knockout punch, Joe Casal with the interception to seal the 31-21 victory for the Colonials with a clubbed hand, the clubbed man. Let's hear from Coach Bernard Clark about the win.
Finally got that monkey off my back. You know, it's one of those situations I feel real great about it. The guys did a great job of just finishing the game. That's the thing that became most important, finishing the game. Still got some things we need to tweak, but overall, great victory, great team victory. Anthony played unbelievable, but like I told you before, nothing much rattles him. And he's one of those guys, he's gone through a lot in his life, so it's a situation where the football game is kind of minor to him, and he plays up to his audience. And he did a great job tonight of moving us down the field and throwing touchdowns a lot. I think he's throwing four TDs or 3 TDs or something like that. Unbelievable.
Kevin, what a night that was for the Colonials. That win, so important to them. We forget about the year of losing. We forget about the jerseys left behind. The Colonials are finally in the win column.
Just a special night all around. Just an unbelievable performance from Anthony Chickett, 21 for 27 with 281 yards. This is just a massive win. As Coach Bernard Clark said, it gets the monkey off his back. It gets the monkey off all the players' backs. You know, they don't have to worry about that winless season. And it was even more special because it was under the lights and in front of a sold-out crowd.
Yeah, they've been asking for that night game for so long now. You couldn't go in there and not show up for everybody. Just a special night for the Colonials, and so happy they can be back in the win column.
Yes, absolutely. Now, for a little bit more on the breakdown of this football game, CSN's Colby Sherwin has more.
After 12 long games, 48 quarters, and 650 days, the Robert Morris football team finally won a game. So what did the Colonials do to get back in the win column? The offense finally came back to life in this one. Anthony Chickett not only caught a touchdown, but was very efficient with the ball as he went 21 for 27 with 281 yards and 3 touchdowns in this one. Noah Robinson was like a 7-Eleven, open all day long. Robinson went off with 8 receptions for 138 yards and a touchdown. Chase Jackson also had a nice day with 3 catches for 44 yards. Robinson spoke about his amazing game.
Absolutely. This is the standard. You feel me? We excited, but we expect to do this every game we play. So we're not expecting nothing less than this next week. Yeah, we got Sunday off, so we're gonna have a little fun. Monday we right back at it though.
On defense, the Colonials were able to slow down the Red Flash with only 12 first downs, 68 rushing yards, and only allowing 3.1 yards per attempt, and only 187 passing yards and 7.2 yards per attempt. Bernard Clark was able to get his defense going, and he spoke about it.
Well, that's the whole thing. They're a bend but don't break defense. They're doing a great job. I mean, they gave us some chunks, but at the same time, they made the adjustments on the sidelines. Coaches did. They knew exactly what happened. So they went back out there. Our defense got 3 turnovers. Those are things that are huge. When you're getting turnovers and you start making great tackles, you become a good football team.
And with a massive game at the Joe, the fans showed out as they had a sellout. And when the final whistle blew, the students rushed the field. The Colonials look to start a win streak as they take on the Youngstown State Penguins, fresh off a game with Ohio State. For Colonial Sports Network, I'm Colby Sherwin.
Thank you so much, Colby, for that in-depth look at what was a special night as the Colonial football team gets their first win in over a year. Now, Cam, we're going to switch it up from Joe Walton Stadium back to the pitch as the also previously unbeaten men's soccer team took the short trip to Duquesne to try and extend their winning ways as they took on the Duquesne Dukes in what was a little bit of an inner-city rivalry matchup. We'll see if the Colonials, the crosstown rival, Duquesne. We're going to start things off in the first half, around the 22-minute mark. The ball is launched from beyond midfield. As it comes down, it's controlled beautifully by Ashton Gell, who looks for the highlight goal, but it's a highlight save instead. RMU goalie Kieran Gorgenyi with the save. Let's see that again, Cam. Just could not believe it, could Gell. We're going to see that play a little bit later because what a save it was. Later, seconds left in the first half, ball comes down, and so does Mats Brommer, who's the recipient of a Ben Pleven takedown as the half comes to a close. Pleven would receive a red card for that, not the momentum that Duquesne wanted heading into halftime. As you can see, the score is tied at 0 as the red card comes out for Pleven as the Colonials show their dismay.
Yeah, Colonials were playing such a great game for that first half, just couldn't close out those opportunities.
Moving on to the second half, Sam Bennett's going to throw it in from the side. It's going to be headed up in the air by Duquesne as it comes down. It's deflected by Jackson Irvin and finds Jaden Daw, who flips it in past Gorgenyi for the goal. That was Daw's 5th goal of the season. He leads Duquesne, and as you can see right there, he is very, very excited about it.
Yeah, tough sequence, couldn't locate the ball, clear it out, and an unfortunate break, even though the Colonials were a man up.
Colonials would get a chance as we see this play again. Just a very nice deflection as Daw finds it and flips it in, and he starts running around, his 5th goal of the year. The Colonials would get a chance to tie the game, though. Logan Gilly tries to make something happen, gets by a couple of defenders before his shot goes just left just wide of the goal. That was not tipped by the goaltender. We'll see another angle of that. Gilly just misses tying the game up by inches. And that would be it for the Colonials, who fall 1-0 and suffer their first loss of the season against their crosstown rival. Head coach Jonathan Potter spoke to CSN post-game about the loss.
Duquesne's a really good team. It was awesome what we want to do, but they're a good opponent. They've shown that over the past couple of years. I thought we weathered the storm early, and then we really found our way in the middle of the first half. And I thought going into halftime we felt very good about where we were at in the match. It was tough. I had shades of kind of that Niagara game earlier in the year where we had a lot of the ball and did a lot of things, we just couldn't find goals. So. It's funny, I mean, we had a period earlier in the season where we kept scoring, and then we were worried about keeping them out from the other end, and tonight we just didn't create the important goal that we needed.
Now, the crosstown rival is a great matchup for the Colonials, but the games that do matter are conference play, and the Colonials earlier in the week traveled to Northern Kentucky to take on the Norse. Let's see how they fared in conference play. Here we go, Colonials versus the Norse. Let's see what happens. 28 minutes. In the 28th minute, here we go, running down the field. We get Sam Robinson with the deflection over the head of the Colonials goalkeeper, celebrating that. Just a cross-in deflection, bumped over, almost bar down, and into the back of the net. Colonials down 1-0. Second half, Colonials pushing for that comeback. We're going to see Yanis Roquois come down the field, get in the box, attacking them, and get tripped up right there by the Norse. Hands on the heads, not believing what happened. He tripped him. That's not allowed, as some may say. And that leads right to the penalty kick by Yanis Roquois, taking his own penalty, kicks it to the right and in the back of the net to tie the game up for Robert Morris. And in the final seconds of the game, Gilly running down the right, enters the box, gets tripped. Oh no! The final second for the Norse, letting this game possibly slip away. We get a penalty kick where you'll see Anas Hadran take it for the Colonials. And where does he go? Just like the last one, to the right to take the win, take the shirt off, run around. We're crazy. They're crazy. He gets the yellow card though, hugs the ref. 2-1 victory for the Colonials.
Now, although the women's soccer team lost earlier tonight to Purdue Fort Wayne, earlier in the week they traveled to Lemoyne University to try and take down the Lemoyne University soccer team. Let's see how the Colonials fared against Lemoyne. Not a conference rival, but a tie nonetheless, better than a loss. Colonials tie 1-1 against the Dolphins. Renee Moorbacher had the lone goal for RMU. She's been playing very well this year. Jasmina Barhoumi scored for Lemoyne. Allison Moreau had 7 saves in net for the Dolphins as the Colonials come away with the 1-1 tie.
Yeah, first career matchup between these two teams, between the Colonials and Dolphins. Walk away with a tie.
Now, coming up after the break, we've still got, let's stay outside. We've got golf, we've got cross country, and coming up a little later, everyone's favorite, top 5 plays of the week. Don't go anywhere. You're watching CSC.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Today, we face an unprecedented crisis. Tens of millions of refugees have been forced from their homes. But you can make a difference. Turn disruption and despair to hope and opportunity. Even small amounts make a big difference. Provide shelter, support, or jobs in your community. The more we understand, the greater sense of belonging we create. Act now. Visit supportcrisisrelief.org.
I don't
want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
Families don't have to talk about everything, but they should talk about how to plan for an emergency. Get tips and resources to make your family's emergency plan.
Well, we're going to go outside and we're going to see what the Colonials cross-country team is up to. Kevin, let's talk about, or golf, excuse me. What am I? I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting ahead of myself. We got golf. We got golf. It's a slow game. I may forget about it, and I did. Let's see how our golf team did. Coming in at the Joe Fegans Marshall Invite, they finished with a score over 19, a par score of over 19, 871 strokes, finishing 11th of the 12 teams. Let's see how the individuals did. As you'll see, Alex Seelig led the Colonials 1 over par, 214, and close behind him was Josh Nagy, Logan Hess, 6 over, Peyton Iverson, 10 over, Tanner Cardwell, 14 over. Not the best outing, but early in the season for the Colonials, you know, they'll get back into it. They'll get the swing of things, some may say.
A good pun there, Cam, and there's nowhere to go but up. Now we're going to talk about cross-country. As they started their season recently, as they competed in the Fisher Invitational, the team finished first out of 4 teams there. Now, freshman Roman Galiotto was the star there as he won the individual title in the 5K. He ran the course in 15 minutes and 49 seconds. That's about as much time as it would take for me to run 1 mile.
Yes.
Just utter domination on the men's side.
Yeah, on the women's side, the women dominated as well. Franny Cabana led the Colonials Junior with 18 minutes and 52 seconds in the 5K. They will be hosting the next Invitational this weekend, Saturday morning at Youthtown. So if you're a big fan of watching people run, head out to Youthtown to watch our Colonials compete.
Saturday morning in the RMU Colonial Invitational, and Youthtown is where they will be. Now, Cam, when we come back, it's time. We've got our games to watch, but we've also got our favorite segment, at least it's mine, Top 5 Plays of the Week in Colonial Sports. You do not want to go anywhere. Stay tuned here on CSC.
Do you want to meet a family with a transgender kid? Here we are. Max loves to do backflips. Max loves to play his ukulele. Max loves to just be a kid and just be himself. When I found out I was pregnant, all I really wanted was a happy, healthy, whole child. And that's what I got. I think it's really important for people to know that trans kids don't have a political agenda. They are just kids. Like any parent, we love our kids unconditionally, and we will never stop fighting for them. Stand with us. Protect our families.
Wait! Not in the toilet!
No, don't do that. No.
Don't hit your brother! Oh!
Not again.
What did I tell you about playing in the mud?
Raffy, not so close to the pool. Wait!
Frankie, Tabby, what are you doing? We told you never to touch the gun!
I'm sorry, I didn't think it was that big of a deal.
You could have hurt yourself!
Safely store your guns, unload, lock, and away from ammo.
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center. Cam, it's the much anticipated top 5 plays of the week. We're not going to waste any more time. We're going to get right into it. We've got plays from a lot of different sports cracking the top 5. So let's get right into things. Top 5 plays of the week. My favorite segment.
I know, it's such a good segment. We're going to tease you guys and make you
wait a little bit longer. Well,
Yeah.
actually, first, Cam, we're going to call a little bit of an audible. We're going to go for our games to watch. Cam, what's your game to watch this week?
My game to watch is RMU football against Youngstown. Let's see if the Colonials can keep the winning way. New year, new season, new team. Anthony Chickett has been unbelievable this season. 35 out of 45 completions, 4 touchdowns, a receiving touchdown, and just good to face a Horizon League rival in Youngstown State who took on Ohio State and gave them a little bit of fits.
Yeah, they scored. It was
How about
5-7
you,
at
Kevin?
one point. Cam, I'm looking for the women's soccer team to rebound. They take on Green Bay at home. Women's soccer versus Green Bay. Renee Moorbacher has 5 goals for the Colonials this season. She scored one earlier, as we mentioned, against Lemoyne. It'll be nice to have them back home and playing in front of home fans. As you can see, she has 5 goals and 3 assists on 21 shots on goal this weekend. Cam, back to the football game real quick. Now that they have that monkey off their back, who knows where the season could go from
Yeah, I know. I was getting really excited to show some of the folks at home the one-handed bandit, Joe Cassell, with that interception. But you know what also I'm really excited for?
What's that?
I'm excited for ice hockey and their return.
Yes,
and women's
absolutely.
ice hockey just unveiled their new jerseys, as you can
Those
see.
look amazing,
They
Cam.
look nice. What a photo. I'm so excited for the team to come back. I think we're going to be looking at a pair of siblings as captains of the team. I don't know about you, but I think that's going to be the Bears as captains. That's my prediction
The biggest
for the
thing that
team.
matters-
They stayed here through the process
That's right. They
of cutting the
absolutely did.
program, rebuilding it from scratch, and here they are. I hope they get the C on their
Jerseys
jersey.
look absolutely fantastic, but the biggest thing is that RMU hockey is back. Now, you look in here again at these jerseys. I mean, these Colonial colors that are being used are timeless. They go with everything. You have the white, the red, the navy. Cam, I just think it looks so aesthetically pleasing, and they're going to look awesome suiting up in those.
I
for the
know.
return.
Imagine the Clearview Ice Arena packed to the brim
And it's
on
going to be.
October
It's
7th.
going to be packed.
Repping the new jerseys. It's going to be a fun night. I feel like filling the stands with red would look real nice. That's my imagination.
I think, Cam, that's a perfect imagination. I don't see why the stands wouldn't be packed for any of these games because, man, the people in Moon Township were so excited every single year for the men's and women's hockey teams, especially, before a couple seasons before they got cut, they were making the NCAA tournament with regularity. And now that they're back, I think there's going to be a huge swell of support for the Colonials teams. as
I
they're
hope
coming
they
back.
jump right in. No layover, right back into things. Like the program never got cut. Speaking of new jerseys, men's basketball also got new jerseys, and they unveiled it on a promo for their Penn State RMU charity game, Coaches versus Cancer, October 27th at the Event Center, $10 a ticket. I am excited for that.
I am too. Cam, a high major opponent, Penn State, coming in to the UPMC Event Center for an exhibition October 27th, Friday at 7 o'clock p.m. Cam, the basketball jerseys look just as nice as the hockey jerseys.
And you know what the best thing about that is?
What's that?
It's for a good cause.
Absolutely.
Coaches versus Cancer. Like, everyone has their story with it, and just raising money for everyone of the area, Pittsburgh area, and just the power of that story around the world. I hope so much money's raised for everybody.
Absolutely.
But basketball against Penn State.
Basketball.
Ooh, I
it's
think
something
the
that's gonna
event center is going to be more filled than their home opener. That's another Cam
that's
prediction.
a hot take from you, Cam.
That's another hot take.
It's something that's definitely going to generate a lot of buzz with, Penn State not exactly being a close in-state rival rather than, Duquesne and Pitt, but it's something that's going to cause a lot of buzz with Penn State making their tournament appearance last year. And again, it all goes to a good cause. Now, the basketball team also has a couple of teams coming in for that multi-team event in closer to Thanksgiving, I believe. Farley Dickinson, who made the tournament. So just some nice buzz there. I'm sure we're going to get into that plenty throughout the course of these upcoming shows.
Yeah, I'm really excited for basketball. I have a lot of faith in them. I believe they're slated 7th in the preseason poll. I think they could be way higher than that.
Yeah, I think so too. Now, Cam, we went through a ton here on tonight's episode of CSC. The football team won their first game in over a year. The soccer teams continue their winning ways. And the golf and cross-country seasons are just getting underway, and they're looking to have great years. But that's going to do it here on Colonial Sports Center. For Cameron Macariola, I've been Kevin Plowcha. For everyone upstairs and downstairs, we will see you next week, next Thursday, right here at 9:30 in the RMU-TV studios. This has